more discussions about what he said and then say, let's move on to something more intelligent.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, but there is a malaise. In other words, there is a sickness of people like him. And those are probably one of the ones that voted for Hogan, who does not see the big picture. Doc, everybody has been talking about A. Dwight Pettit. We kept saying before Trump was elected, y'all got to keep your eye on the big picture. The Supreme Court. That's the one thing. The Supreme Court, that's all white folks, they satisfied. He can do anything else. But he's appointed 2 people to the Supreme Court. They're getting their agenda in for you. Generations to come, your children will be subjected to these people. And we can't see it because we say, well, we shouldn't complain or whatever. Yes, Leo.
Substantively, should there be a federal minimum wage that is livable?
Yes.
Should there be a state of Maryland minimum wage that is livable?
Yes.
I would contend that the minimum wage federally and statewide is not livable. So can we talk about, when we talk about economics in the context of big business and economic slavery, can we also include this aspect of the minimum wage that ought to be increased substantially to reflect on the needs of the American people?
Yes, we can.
But Leo, when you're talking the minimum wage is a lot of times reflected upon where you live, because the cost of living in one part of the country or in one city is vastly different than another city.
I understand. But that needs to be part of the conversation.
Well,
I hear you. We need to talk about it.
Okay, let me say this. I hear this argument all the time, and I believe it's the governor of, was it Minnesota, who went in and raised the taxes on the rich, implemented a $15 minimum wage.
Oh, that was Washington, I believe.
No. This is another one in addition to Washington.
Oh, okay.
I just read that $15 minimum wage, and the state is thriving. The first surplus in decades.
Well, here's the question that begs to be asked. We just came out of an election. Is Maryland not a state that has the highest percentage between Democrats and Republicans that they're Democrat registration?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Why don't we have minimum wage?
I know.
Right on.
All right, Charles, I see you there. I want to shift this right now, and I hope this is one of the Charles that was an ex-policeman, because I would certainly love to hear what he has to say. There's a great transition. As many of you know, that the mayor has appointed or set a person's name into the hat to become the commissioner of police. And as it turns out, this gentleman has a checkered past, really checkered, where he has had 4 jobs in the last 5 years with different police departments. And everywhere he went, he pissed off everybody. He pissed the people off, and he pissed the police off. Nobody liked him. But he always, I was reading his rulings and what he decided, he always ruled in the favor of the police. And so she's bringing him here without she says she's done due diligence, but after reading the articles in the Baltimore Sun, you got to ask what diligence did and where did they do to do? Okay?
We don't know what she did. She operates in secrecy, as do most mayors, particularly in this setup that we have here. We don't know what she did.
The only hope we have right now is that we can get to our city council people and tell them our thoughts about this.
Some of them are going down to Texas.
Yeah, 7 of them I hear. Why take so many?
Well, this is Doc Cheatham. I'm in the minority with the position that's being taken here today.
Okay.
I think we got to look at where did the information come from. Are we talking about our relatives, our friends that live in the city and states that he has been an officer?
Yes, I am.
And if we have, then at least you can say. I can say to folks that I know, I've not gotten that kind of information from them. So I'm still one of those that want to see and hear more before I render what my support is. But right now, it's broke. The system is broke. Now, if you don't live in Baltimore like one of our previous callers, and you want to assume what you know about Baltimore City Police Department system is broken. We need a significant positive change. I like to see more about what's in this guy's background, because it's got to be better than what we've had for the last 30 years. What we've had has been broken, and it has been racist.
Yes, and not only has it been racist, but it has been heaved on us, and every one of them have been a failure, and the people had misgivings from the jump for most of these people. Go ahead, James.
Oh, I got a lot to say here.
Come quickly.
And I'm sure that some people will disagree with this, but my problem with this entire process is that it has not been transparent. I read
Right on.
the mayor's statement yesterday saying, and this is a quote, "I can assure all citizen stakeholders that the process has been thorough and inclusive of broad input gained from our near constant discussions with community organizers, business, education, foundation leaders, national advocacy groups, other elected officials, and our own police officers."
Hold that thought right there. That's
ministers,
the key.
and neighborhood
they were
residents.
all probably handpicked by her.
Well, my problem is I know a lot of people in advocacy groups. I know people in foundations. I know people in I know elected officials. I even know other police officers. And my next door neighbor, I checked with her this morning, and she's a big time stakeholder. And no one seems to have been able to figure out what the process is. And now I went back, so I started doing some research.
The Fraternal Order of Police said they weren't in on it either.
Nobody
right?
is. So August 17th, the job descriptions or the job announcement deadline occurred, and everybody was supposed to send their applications to Solicitor Andre Davis. They received 50 applications, and then it went into some black hole as far as I'm concerned, and then up pops this guy.
The short list.
And I guess my view is when I was hired for my job, it was based on a list of criteria, and then there was an evaluation panel, and it was open to some discussion. Now we have a person who has been selected, and now we're going to send a team to Texas to go over his history. My question is, what are we going with? What kinds of criteria are we using when we go to Texas? And then what if we don't like it? Then what happens? Then we come back and we say to the community, hey, we went to Texas and he wasn't good, so should we go to the second person that was on the secret list?
They're going to come back. They're going to come back, Brother Morant, and confirm what the mayor wants them to do. I mean, she's got handlers. They might be Martin O'Malley, James Smith, her chief of staff, Mike Bush, Mike Miller. All these white folks seem to be handlers. She has henchmen. I don't know what's going on, but she's not transparent by design. And she has no intention of doing anything other than what she's told by the white power establishment here. She's not responsive to black folks, and we need her to pay a political price for that across the board. She's outrageous.
If I may, gentlemen, what we are witnessing now is political theater at its finest.
Correct.
Two, I've been watching this administration and what it does, and I'm not only talking. Holiday Street is the key to all of this, and they do things in such a manner that would make the Borgias and Machiavelli stand up and say most impressive. I mean, what they do, and people really don't know what they do, and they're able to baffle them with all sorts of garbage rhetorically to make them believe whatever they want them to believe.
Our mayor is the queen of puppeteering.
Wow.
That's where I'm at. Now, who doesn't like it, I don't care.
I want to go back to Doc. I have family in Texas, you know. And yesterday my sister was on. She lives in Dallas or DeSoto, kind of near Fort Worth. And I asked her, had she heard about this guy? Oh, my God. She said, y'all again, he's coming there? I said,
see, I think that's pertinent information.
Yeah.
I think that's those are the kind of responses. People who live there, work there, do community work there. Those are the people that I want to hear from. And I'm saying at this point, I can't say yay and nay because I need to hear more from people who know something about this.
Well, check this out.
And that's what I'm interested in.
I hear you. A few people, this is according to the Baltimore Sun, a few people contacted in Fort Worth, Texas, were unequivocal in their disregard for their former police chief. Said one retired police sergeant, you couldn't find a more unqualified person to move Baltimore police forward. Then this is the one that get me. Mitchell Bell, the pastor of a Great St. Stephen First Church in Fort Worth, rooted
for
Fitzgerald when he was hired as police commissioner. In fact, fact, he was on the board that chose him. He said he's well-spoken and confident. Fitzgerald seems to have an answer for everything, Bell said. He said, I drank the Kool-Aid, but said Bell, Fitzgerald proved to be an all-front porch like a movie set. When crisis hit the department, for example, after a police shooting of an unarmed man, Bell said Fitzgerald proved an ineffective manager, firing the officer involved only after charges had been brought against him. Joel has shown an unwillingness to dismiss even rogue officers, Bell said. He said, I'm glad he's gone. And this is the last thing we need. But I feel
you don't want somebody's junk. I mean, it seems like we get the throwaways
in
from
every situation.
city.
Every situation. Stephanie Rollins Blake did. She kept hiring people that were compromised from the jobs they were leaving and brought them here.
Patrick, when Dr. Anthony Batts first came into Baltimore City, our organization, the Baltimore Cop Watch, actually called community leaders, church leaders. We even called the Oakland Police Association, and they wouldn't even vouch for him. Matter of fact, the guy from he's actually the president of the Oakland Police Association said, good luck with that one, buddy. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, good luck with that one, because he's not liked by his peers. He's not liked by the community. And then when we brought that information to city council, to the affirmation hearing, and we tried to tell the city that this was the wrong choice, they still almost unanimously voted him in. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. Jason, I know y'all did too, man. And I don't understand it. But Charles, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
I definitely have a comment.
Come forth, please.
Yeah, this is just more heaping on, with this bad political cadre that we have here in Baltimore City. This is just going to cause more money to be taken out of the coffers and the national debt for Baltimore City to go up. I mean, they're going to go down there to do all this investigation, but really they're going to go to Corpus Christi so they can go on vacation. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, when we look at this whole situation, what we need is correction. We need the Baltimore City Police to do the job that they're sworn to do. We need them to fill out the appropriate paperwork, documentation. They need to give it to the citizens, do proper
review board. Yes.
I mean, do we even have an agenda for this new police commissioner? Because if we don't have an agenda, then we haven't done our due diligence. And then, lastly, we got to look at the vote. I mean, this is what y'all vote did. It brought us this situation. I thought the vote was supposed to correct situations. So how can we correct the city when people come out to vote and you still got situations like this, and then you got radio talk show hosts that talk about it but don't give us viable solutions? Nothing has been fixed.
Well, hold on before you guys say that. I hear you. You know what? But I have been deceived too. I thought that our mayor was the answer to it all. And 90% of the people sitting in this room told me, you're crazy. She's not who you think she is. See, they lie to us. They make us believe one thing, and then once they get in power, then they go in and they change the $15 minimum wage. I couldn't believe she didn't even try. She
right,
even
but we tried to tell you.
And I admit I was wrong, my brother. I didn't cut you off. I tell you what, I wish I had listened, and I please accept my apology, because I'm just telling you what the problem is that we believe these people and we vote for them, and then they change. It's an old bait and switch deal, and it happens all the time, it's particularly in this city.
Charles, are you the same Charles that doesn't vote? You're not registered voter. Are you a registered voter, Charles?
Are you trying to talk over me?
Are you a registered voter?
He's asking you a question, Charles.
So you want to cut off?
I know who you are. Are you a registered voter?
Are you a...
He's not a registered voter. We hear him on every show.
Nobody cares.
He's not a registered voter.
I want to raise a couple of things. The job announcement said they want a can-do, reform-minded management leader who had good relations with community and civic groups. You can't, as far as I'm concerned, you can't commit a process foul by not addressing all those issues when you bring forward this candidate, and then say, after you've brought him forward, oh yeah, we're going to look at all those things.
No,
that's number
backwards.
one. Two, the job announcement said, I want 10 years of progressively responsible law enforcement, including 5 years as a supervisor. Well, from my calculations, if he's had 4 jobs in 5 years,
This would be his 4th job.
how does he get 10 years of progressively responsible law enforcement and 5 years as a supervisor? I just get sort of
The math?
confused by that.
The math. 410-481-1010.
I have a-
410-481-1010. Give us a call.
Gentlemen, I think those job qualifications are a little bit what come out of the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commission. In their job description for supervisors, first line and supervisory personnel.
Well, what I just read to you was from the solicitation for the commissioner's
Right,
job.
but I think part of that language is promulgated by the state. Because
So that would mean that would be a criteria for the police commissioner?
Right. In order to be a supervisor, even at the first level, you have to have certain criteria that is set by the state.
Okay.
So does this person meet that?
Or barely.
I would have to look at the entire resume and then compare it to how MPCTC views it. I haven't looked at their latest standards in a long while, but if I remember correctly, they set the criteria for who can be a supervisor and what the criteria for supervisor is, especially police commissioner.
But gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, we have the wisest of the men in this city sitting at this table and on the phone.
Oh Lord, I can't live up to that. We are the 3 wise men.
When you employ someone, well, actually four
wise men. Five wise men. Okay, the quintuplet.
When you employ somebody, again, when you look at the fact that he's a job hopper, he's had less, I guess, long-term tenure at these police departments. And when you look at the fact that Allentown only had less than 300 officers, Fort Worth had less than 2,000 officers.
And not nearly the size of Baltimore.
And not even nearly the size of Baltimore. Why are we bringing somebody that's technically under the experience level that what we need? Somebody that really has no clue. And then when you look at the history of what's going on in Fort Worth, murders are up 70%. Crime is up overall in the city. So why would you bring somebody that doesn't have an effective record, that hasn't have any accomplishments or anything to say, hey, I've done this in Fort Worth and I figure I could duplicate this and replicate this in Baltimore City and bring change to Baltimore City? Why are you bringing somebody with
Leo?
Yeah, I would submit, I will have to agree that there is no one we're going to find in this universe who's a perfect vessel. I agree with everything I've heard everyone say, but I don't care. I would really like to have on this program, with Patrick's permission, the rest of you, I would like to get D'Souza on this program because there's some things relevant to what he is alleged to have done vis-a-vis that, if he was willing. But there's some very strange things that I'm questioning as to, was he under indictment for tax evasion? Was he
quickly didn't it disappeared?
Well, what was he a member of the gun trace task force? I'm saying I heard a lot of allegations, but I didn't see affirmation or confirmation that he was as bad as people said he was. I wonder if what happened to him is going to happen to this guy, maybe deservedly so, but there's some unanswered questions about Daryl D'Souza and how that situation was handled,
Leo,
in my opinion.
Hold on for a minute, Richard. Go ahead, Doc.
My concern is this. One, I think the type of scrutiny that y'all are putting this next commissioner under, I'm thankful that's not a job that I want. Cause I think we may be raising the bar a little higher.
That's right.
Let me first say that. Let me also say this. I think one of the most important things that we can do through this great radio show is basically indicate whoever this individual is, he is she, black, white, doesn't matter. We got to get behind whoever it is as a community to help improve our own community. We can't expect, no matter who gets appointed, that individual is going to need the support of us community leaders, us community servants.
That's
and
true.
that's one of the things that I'm looking at as a community leader. What is it that I can do to make my Western District better than it is? Because the Western District is broke as well.
I agree with you.
Yes, it is.
Let me get. I want to get you hear what Ernest has to say. Ernest, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment?
Yeah. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
Y'all didn't invest. Nobody investigated Kevin Davis. Kevin Davis actually should have been in jail. He kidnapped the boy, took him across state lines when he was in Anne Arundel County, assaulted him because his supervisor wanted to know where his daughter was. The daughter was dating a boy. He got sued for, I think, $90,000.
I think the Warrior lawyer represented. I was with the NAACP at that point. So I think the Warrior lawyer handled that case. I think you're right.
So they didn't investigate. You know, see, you think you know about the police department, but you really don't. We had a Army general, police commissioner, General Gelston, brought in Box Harris because of the same kind of issues, but he didn't want it. Then they brought in Pomelo, who was not a police. He was a colonel in the Marine Corps.
Come quickly. We don't have but a few more minutes, but thank you, Ernest. So what do you think of this guy? I mean, quickly tell me, what do you think?
I don't know anything about him, but they got to vet him. I know that nobody in this police department should be a police. Anybody in the command staff doing Freddie Gray and Suter. We still don't know. They still hadn't admitted that Suter committed suicide. You see, Baltimore County did it right. When Comegna committed suicide, they didn't hesitate. They didn't come up and say, "Oh, we don't know if a suspect. The cameras are not working." They said right away that Officer Comegna committed suicide.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off. I always wanted to hear what you say because you come speak with a lot of experience.
Patrick, if I may.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
One of the things we got to keep in mind.
Hold on, Smitty.
We're going to get all this trash that other states are throwing away for police commissions, and we get the same results. What kind of investigation are they doing? We had Ed Moss on there. He wasn't no good.
Yeah, exactly.
And then who can believe a mayor who lied to little children that she was going to give them $15? I wouldn't trust her word in anything that she selected.
Wow. Hold on for a minute, Smitty. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. We missed the commercials, but we got to play it now. Bye. Hold on. Go ahead.
The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the day and soul at night.
What's that? That's the Fresh Start XL. It's that feeling that you've gotten a fresh financial start through bankruptcy and you can go back to living your life. How do you get that Fresh Start XL? It's easy. Start by calling Cerroti & Associates for a free consultation at 410-999-8000. Jeff Cerroti has helped thousands of Marylanders get the fresh start they deserve and breathe the Fresh Start XL. And he can help you. Call today for a free consultation. Call the law offices of Jeffrey M. Cerroti & Associates at 410-999-8000 and get your fresh start. You'll meet with Jeff Cerroti himself. That's 410-999-8000 or visit freshstartlaw.com to learn more. If you're near foreclosure for your home, consider the Fresh Start XL instead. Schedule a free bankruptcy consultation today. Cerroti & Associates is convenient to the Beltway with free parking. Call 410-999-8000 today. That's 410-999-8000. We are a debt relief agency helping people file bankruptcy under the Bankruptcy Code.
Greetings, 106.1 family. This is Pastor Kevin English
and Lady Micah English
of Open Bible Baptist Church, 3902 West Overlea Avenue. And we want to invite you to our Fresh Faces of Gospel concert on Friday, November 23rd at 8 p.m.
Yes, we will have To Save Souls gospel artists, Spirit to Spirit gospel artists, Sermon, Manuel Ringgold, Divine of Annapolis, Thomas Wilkerson, and Anointed Creative Voices, and an EP release by Naomi B titled Created to Worship.
Absolutely. Tickets are $20 and can be purchased by calling 410-488-4646. Also, come early at 6 p.m. and get your holiday shopping done at our Small Business Expo.
Again, the number is 410-488-4646. You don't want to miss it.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Welcome back. I guess we're really getting popular now. You know, there was a time they played no commercials on our show, but I guess people wants to get up in the room with us at the time, so we welcome them even though it takes away from our time with you. Smitty, come quickly. Smitty, I guess he went on, and we're going to go to... Yes,
can I
go.
Put this in real quick?
Come quickly.
Doc, you were right. The people in these communities, whoever they bring in here, are going to have to get behind him, because I can just about guarantee you,
he's coming.
The people in the command staff, you may command us, but you're not one of us.
And will they treat him accordingly?
Power to get him out of there.
Well, that's interesting, because he's pissed off the people, the community, and the police. But he always rules in the favor of the police. So you think they're gonna find a way to like him?
I don't know.
Well, we shall see. Roscoe, welcome to Patrick Henderson. Meet the people. Do you have a question or comment? I'm sorry, we're so short for time. Come quickly, sir.
All right. I just want to say, particularly to Doc Cheatham, he brought up the position of why don't they? And I hate to paraphrase him. I think he used the pronoun, why don't they give us a black senator from Maryland or attorney general, state's attorney. Mm-hmm. The reason is, black people didn't vote for him. Mm-hmm. We had candidates, we had opportunities, but black people didn't vote for him. Like right now, I bet the majority of black Marylanders voted for Brian Frost. And let me say this:
they did.
As far as when you bring up the point about the blacks for Baltimore, the blacks for Democrats, for Hogan, mm-hmm. and the ones that got paid to do all these commercials, like the brother that publishes the Be More News, I forget his name right now. The question is, we can ask him, like you said, okay, now that you promoted this man to the top of your force, what is he going to do for HBCUs? And what is your take on it? And let's get a public explanation from these people.
I agree with you. Think it's a brilliant idea, and I think it's been mentioned before, but I think one of us said it today, one of you said it today. Now, since he's done all that, is he going to collect on his loan? Mark C., you're welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, how y'all doing,
hey,
man?
Mark.
I've been
Mark C.
to y'all. Pat,
yeah.
I was talking to Doc. He didn't know that you was a musical icon. I told him I saw you on Yardbirds and People. That's how I knew you was all that.
He's been singing my music in church for years, and he don't even know it. But that's all right, I don't be pumping myself up. But that's all right. God is good. Go. What you? Mark, I heard you today. You made some valid points.
I was disappointed, but we have to get behind the commissioner. That we got, man. But
who, Tuggle or the new commissioner?
Me right now.
Say it again.
The young councilman.
Which is a young councilman?
The brother that's going to Texas.
Oh,
Brandon
Scott.
Brandon Scott.
Brandon Scott. I believe that man, that young man has a good heart and really wants to move our city forward. He's part of helping with our young people. But the rest of them, the other three, y'all field trip should be on a bus to all of the squeegee corners. Talk to some of them. Have some grassroots with you, like Keys Development, who does mental health, addiction, and peer counseling for young people. Umar boxing and stuff like that. So y'all take a field trip over there, use some of the youth money, open that building up where Doc was talking about, open the building up over in East Baltimore and the one over by Leo, so we can have some real solutions. Y'all take care.
Well, you know what you said? You said something.
Me and you going to talk about some things Sunday, my brother, 5 o'clock.
Looking forward wait a minute. You announced something this morning that you wanted to know everybody to know, didn't you? I heard you on Larry's show. Well, did you announce something with the I Can't, We Can't? Isn't there something happening there?
Oh yeah, the suits, man. They're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. But they're giving away high-end suits and shirts every day from 9 to 5, 4432 Park Heights Avenue. Anybody need a suit, go by there.
I knew I heard you say something that I wanted to remember. God bless you all.
And they have a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Mark. See, Leo.
Yeah, I just want to remind Doc Cheatham and everyone who, in the sound of my voice, Lieutenant Brian Rice, I am told, is still in your district, Western District. Lieutenant Brian Rice led the attack on Freddie Gray, he and the other white police officer, and he recently lost an effort to have Marilyn Mosby, the state's attorney, convicted of malicious prosecution.
Yes, he did.
In that regard, in the Supreme Court. So keep in mind, the Fraternal Order of Police is actively working in opposition to any changes in terms of the consent decree. They're actively working. And also this matter of black people getting elected to office. You had Donna Edwards.
Yes,
nothing wrong with Donna Edwards. Very intelligent woman. Opposed by 100 black women. Or witches on brooms. I don't know what they were.
Watch it now.
Donna Edwards should have been. She should have been the first United States senator black senator from the state of Maryland. She was not. She was deep sixed by the legislative black caucus
and the Kennedys.
So be mindful. We've got enemies within. We've got the Quislings are alive and well.
Leo, I'm going to have to take strong exception to that.
Oh, you don't?
Witches on brooms?
Yeah, I can't go for that.
All of them weren't witches on. Just a few of them. Okay, I got you. But no,
I can't get out of this building if I don't protect us black women.
Well, but why did they work against Donna Edwards? She had a great track record.
Yeah, I think she was a little.
They didn't like her personality.
But don't broad brush them all, Leo. Broad brush them all.
Yeah, but she should have been the first black woman
she'd had her bedside manner just did not. She didn't make a lot of friends.
Qualified.
And that's and one thing about Maryland is built on relationships. I've learned that not the hard way. I saw it
even
quickly.
if they're jive turkey relationships.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm glad I'm in this room today.
She upset the community by parachuting into the Waverly area to take advantage of the death of that 3-year-old, and that ticked a lot of people off.
What do you mean parachuted?
She decided to come in and make commercials and glad hand during that period.
We got folks that people said on certain commercials that they've been through certain neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to say, golly gee, did I move out the neighborhood and been gone for 4 or 5 years?
You didn't see these people, right?
But what I'm saying is that didn't help her.
It didn't help her. And I concur. I concur.
Well, tell me this. Do you all believe that the day will soon come? We're all octogenarian here. Some of us are, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting on up in age, Leo.
I'm only 50. I'm only 50 years
all
old.
looking at me cross-eyed and stuff. I know what I got another good 30 years is what I'm claiming.
But you should be in the Supreme Court.
Hey,
got 30 years.
Another 30 years. But check this out, you all.
3-10.
Do we believe in our time that we will see this state make a turn to do the right thing?
No.
No.
No and no.
No.
No, not in my lifetime.
Doc?
Definitely no.
Definitely no. Wow. This is a vicious, recalcitrant state. This is a state that first enacted the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights, which served as a model for the entire 1974 under the administration of wasn't he the first Jewish governor of the state? Marvin Mandel? Reactionary and vicious.
Let's put it this way: Maryland is the most northern southern state in the union.
That's true. That's what
vicious,
I heard. We were the first one to implement housing discrimination, redlining, where black people
started
right here.
1911. Didn't we have the codes in 1911?
Yes.
You know what? I guess God.
Racism is alive and well.
God, I ain't mad at you because we didn't have the internet like we got it now. But if I had known half this before I moved here, Doc, I'd have kept on going.
Well, I'm glad you didn't make that decision.
In Fort Worth?
We need you right
I lived in Dallas, but I haven't lived in Dallas in years. I had to get out of Dallas because of the racism.
We need you right here.
I'll gentleman one better.
What?
In the 1700s, going into the about 1800 or so, they created what were called the Black Codes. And in other words, it's 2 separate criminal laws. There was one for normal folks, and they had one for African slaves, runaway slaves, and people
free slaves
who harbored them.
And free slaves. Tell me this though. Does that not discourage you? If it does not discourage you, why do you keep moving if you feel like nothing is ever going to change? What motivates you? What keeps you going, James?
Because in the final analysis, Baltimore is a big city with a small town air.
Yes.
I worked in Washington for close to 40 years, but I never left Baltimore because I loved the ecumenical nature of it.
What does that word mean?
That means it had Greek town, it had the Polish town, it had
Italian
Indian,
Italian, Little Italy.
Diversity.
Yes. So when I say ecumenical, I mean so many different cultures, and I liked that. And then I had family here, so it was advantageous for me in terms of my whole upbringing and career to live here.
Doc?
It's going to take the same state that has the #1 folks in the area of civil rights, litigation, legislation, and leaders, the state of Maryland, the city of Baltimore, to turn around what has now gone bad. We have the history of turning things around. We got to get back to the work of our people. I love my people. That's why I still live in Baltimore.
Yes, brilliant. Maestro.
We have a history of success, of many years of success as the iconic city for civil rights and economic ownership, black ownership of businesses, and we need to bring that back. We've got to bring the renewal back on in terms of our ownership of our own businesses and empowering ourselves, and that potential still exists, even though we have folks who are bandwagon Negroes.
Yes, Richard Terry, what do you think?
Well, I'm looking towards the future, and I'm looking to see what's headed our way, and there's only one way to try to protect our folks that are here now and those that may come behind me. And that's why I'm doing what Doc has gotten me trapped into.
Thank God.
No, I've been at this a long time, but I've been in the background for the past 20 or so years.
We blessed to have you, my brother.
The Klan is coming after you. The Klan is coming after you.
James, did you have something to say before we close?
Just in closing, I have a problem in terms of police commissioner with the process. If you get a commissioner that meets the needs of Baltimore City, then I'm good with that. And if the guy from Fort Worth can do that, that's fine. But there has been a process foul, and the community has not been able to do what it should do. So I look at the mayor's op-ed in the Baltimore Sun
yesterday.
Yes. And the mayor is saying that she wants a new era of trust.
From her mouth to God's ears.
So that's what I'm looking for.
And you're not going to get it no time soon.
Listen, thank you all so much for listening. I want you all to know that on December the 11th, Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. at Morgan State University, please join us in support of our civil rights impacting Maryland HBCUs. It's going to be at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, and where we're going all the way to Richmond, Virginia, because that's where the case will be heard before the oral arguments will be held there. God bless you and each and every one of you. Remember to pray for each and every one of us, and as we pray for you, because the Spirit of God is on us no matter whether we want to admit it or not. It keeps us and keeps us clothed in our right mind, but He would have us love one another first. That's how He said how much He know we loved Him is how much we love each other. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Please join us this coming Sunday at 3:30 on Spirit 1400, and have a great week. And remember, hug somebody, love them babies, talk to your children, validate them, stop correcting them so much, celebrate them. God bless. Have a great week.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you all next
everybody.
Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Richard.
Pray for me, 'cause I might be going through that. I might go.
Talk in the day. Soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Ted had a big IRS problem.
I owed the IRS over $35,000. I was scared. I just didn't know what to do.
He had a pretty good idea what the IRS might do.
They can take my car, my truck, garnish my wages, get into my bank accounts.
Ted's brother suggested Optima Tax Relief.
Optima took over and things started happening fast.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima Tax Relief, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $500 million for their clients. So how's Ted doing now?
Since my debt was resolved, the stress is gone. I don't have any more sleepless nights.
Listen to Ted and call Optima now for a free consultation. consultation.
Call Optima. Don't wait. Optima Tax is like a bodyguard. They're there to protect me. If they can help me, I'm sure they can help you.
Call 800-799-0977. That's 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1010 WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Hello there, and thanks for tuning into this week's show. I'm your host, Chris McKay, and I'm really happy to have you along today as we explore and discover the secrets to health, wealth, and better living. And if you're a longtime listener of the show, welcome back. We appreciate it. And if you're just joining us for the first time, nice to have you along today. I want to start by sending a big thank you out to our sponsor, Dr. Newton's Naturals. They're one of the best sources of high-quality nutritional supplements at discount prices. You can visit them online anytime at drnewtons.com. And I want you to check them out when you have a chance because they really have some great products to improve your health and the health of your family. Okay, on today's show, we're talking about vitamin D, sometimes referred to as the sunshine vitamin, but folks, here's the problem. Many of us aren't getting enough sunshine lately between slathering on those powerful sunscreens and spending more time indoors, and what it really comes down to is this vitamin D deficiency that's out there is causing an avalanche of health problems for 70% of our population, ranging from pain, loss of balance, muscle weakness, depression,